Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well. I just want to say a big thank you to all my recent subscribers and all you guys who've been watching me as well, all my old subscribers. Thank you so much for all your lovely comments, feedback, everything. I really appreciate, the fact that you're subscribing and watching my tutorials and videos and things like that. And I just wanted to post a video basically just so that we can sort of get to know each other a little bit better, because I guess I haven't really sort of had a video where I've talked about myself, how I came about doing makeup in general, and how I harness my skills, and other maybe more personal things as well that maybe you'd like to know. And in a previous video I did ask you guys, if you do have any questions for me, then feel free to post them. So I'm hoping that I've got everybody's questions and I've just sort of pasted them onto a document. So I don't know if they're going to be in the right order, but I've sort of done it in a sort of general coherent order. So here goes. I'm just going to sort of dive in there, and just the first question on here is, how old are you? I am 30 years old. I will be 31 in a few days time, on Friday I think it is, on the 16th of December is my birthday. So that's that answer to that one. Where are you from? I am Arab, originally from Iraq, although I was born in London. I was born here in 1980 and I grew up here, so I've basically lived in London my entire life. And that's basically where I'm from, but I've also sort of travelled around a little bit as well, so there's a bit more that maybe you don't really need to know about that. Where do you live? I live, like I said, I'm in London, and I work and live around London. So in terms of work-wise, with bridal clients and things like that, then I normally travel out to my brides and travel out to other work in regards to shoots and things like that. And the next question is, how many siblings? I have 4, well actually we don't have 4 siblings, I have 3 siblings, I'm the 4th. So I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. How long have you been married for? Okay, I think there must have been a question about if I'm married. So I am married. I have been married for about 5 years, I would say, I think. So 2007, so do your maths. I think it's about 5 years now. It's quite personal questions you guys are asking. Arranged or a love marriage? It wasn't arranged. It was sort of, not necessarily, I wouldn't say like a love marriage in that sense, but we got to know each other just through mutual sort of circumstances. We were just basically both volunteering for the Iraq elections that took place a few years ago, and we got to know each other and we kept in contact, and we did the whole formal thing where his family came over to my family, and as they say, the rest is history. And the next question on here is, was it non-racial or interracial marriage? We're basically both from Iraq, so I hope that answers the question to that one. Next question is, my favourite colour? I don't necessarily have a favourite colour, but I would say that I do tend to go for things that are pink. I don't know if it's just the little girl in me that likes pink things, but I do tend to like and favour things that are pink. But I also love colour in general. I'm just sort of a colourful person, I would say, so I love colours in all kinds of ways, but the general feeling towards things is that I do love pink, which I think a lot of you also probably like pink too. And the next question is, my favourite book. Now, I don't think this includes makeup books. I do have a lot of makeup books which I like the Bobbi Brown Beauty Manual, which I love, which is one of the first books that I actually really loved and just sort of dived into and just started sort of learning a lot from that book. But in terms of non-fictional books, the Da Vinci Code is a favourite of mine, because it's probably the only book that I've actually sat down and read like within a space of probably 4 days. I was very gripped by it, and I enjoyed that, and I think that's the only book that I've probably read, apart from all the sort of non-fiction stuff, which is makeup stuff. And the next question is my favourite food. I love food in general. I really love food, and I would say I don't necessarily have a favourite food as such, but I do love Mediterranean food. I love Middle Eastern food. I love Asian food. So like, you know, from, I don't know, I love all food. So I don't think I have a specific favourite, but my favourite thing to have, I think, is a really beautiful lasagna. I don't know, I just love lasagna. I love pasta things. I love cheese. I love cheddar. I love bolognese. Now I'm getting really hungry, so let's move on to the next question. My favourite drink, I really love apple cider. I really love Coke, Pepsi, those drinks. I love fizzy, bubbly drinks, but my favourite drink is probably apple cider because it's really refreshing and it's sparkly and it's bubbly. So that's my favourite drink. A special moment. When my son was born, that was probably the most special moment. That sort of, you know, it's a special moment basically. As many probably mothers, those of you who are mothers probably understand as well, that is a really special moment for me. Special experience, I would say childbirth, but it was special but also crazy and scary, and it's quite a sad time as well because there were a few complications and things like that. So, but it's still a very special moment as well. So, as well as a special experience. So I would say probably the whole pregnancy as well. So that is definitely a special experience for me. What's the one thing you've always wanted to do but haven't yet? I guess I've always wanted to, I would say like bungee jump or skydive or like parachute, but I don't know, that's something that probably everybody wants to do. So probably that, but at the same time, there's other things that I would love to do as well, like travel and see more of the world, you know, see really exotic places. I have done a bit of travelling myself, but I would love to do more. So that is definitely something that I would love to do, but haven't done yet. What's the one thing you can't live without? If this is an object, then the one thing that I can't live without is my iPhone, which is quite sad, I think. But my iPhone is like my portal to everything, in terms of work, in terms of contacts, in terms of keeping in touch obviously with people, but just like everything like that I need can be in my iPhone. You know, it's just something that I just feel, although I never had it a few years ago and I was living fine, but now I feel that without it I just don't know, like a part of me is missing or something like that, which is really bad, but it's true. So what else is here? Are you an indoors or an outdoors person? I am. Well, I used to be a lot more of an outdoorsy person. I used to love to go out and shopping and going out with friends and things like that. Not that that much has changed, but I've loved to appreciate now being indoors and being sort of with my son and with family and doing more indoor type things. So as much as I love obviously going out and enjoying myself with friends and travelling and all those things, I guess I'm maturing or growing up, and I'm starting to be more indoorsy and maybe a bit of a hermit sometimes as well. So maybe you guys don't need to know that much information. Okay, what else? Describe yourself in 5 words. Okay, this is off the top of my head. 5 words. I would say I am creative, ambitious, kind, giving, and the 5th one would have to be, I guess because creative I've already said, I would have said artistic, but that's sort of the same thing. So the 5th one is always a bit of a dilemma. Bubbly, I hope. Hope that comes across to you guys. Okay, what is your ethnic background? I've already mentioned I'm Arab, which is why I specialise. Because somebody's asked me, is that why you specialise in Arabic and Indian makeup? I guess it is why I specialise in that type of makeup, because I'm from that region, and so I grew up with, you know, seeing maybe music videos, Arabic magazines, all these kind of things, which were very sort of bold in the terms of the makeup that was worn, obviously by Arabic and Asian sort of stars. So I guess that is an influence to what I like to recreate and how it sort of started off for me. So definitely it is something to do with, I guess, my ethnic background. But, you know, I guess a lot of people nowadays also enjoy doing the Arabic makeup looks as well. So that's quite a popular thing nowadays. How many years have you been in the business? Okay, in terms of years, I started in makeup from the age of 16. So as soon as I could work, I just went out and tried to find a job. And the good thing was I found and I landed a job in a, I would say like a chemist beauty store sort of thing. I was basically looking for a job at the age of 16. I went through the whole of Oxford Street, handing out my CV, hoping that somebody would actually say, oh, you know what, we have a vacancy, you can come in for an interview. None of that happened, but by the time I reached from Tottenham Court Road to Marble Arch, I don't know if you guys are familiar with London, but from Marble Arch there was this pharmacy which was called Bliss Chemist, and I just went in and I just thought, might as well give them a go as well, seeing as though I've been asking everyone else. And I just handed in my CV, and the manager there, he said, oh, you know, thank God you've come in because we actually do need somebody. And I was like, yes. And they didn't have anybody to sort of look after their cosmetic section, perfume section, and the sort of beauty side of things. So they said, you know, would you like to start sort of the next day? And I was like, okay, am I going to have an interview? So they sort of gave me a brief interview like on the same day, and they said, okay, you know, come in. And that's how it started really for me, is that I was working sort of almost in the on the counter. There was, you know, makeup from Dior, YSL, Clarins, and all these other makeup brands, but also perfumes as well. So that's how it started, so that at the age of 16. But going back to the question, how many years have I been in the business? If you are to count backwards, then I guess 14 years I've been sort of within the makeup industry, but I did obviously do my studies and things like that, but I always kept doing the makeup side of things, so working part-time as well. So yeah, so 14 years is the answer to that question. And how do you balance work and family life? Since my little boy has come along, it has been really difficult to try and manage family life with work life and things like that. So I guess nothing prepared me for it, and I just didn't know how sort of much of an impact that my little baby boy was going to have on me, and how demanding it is to be a mother. And so it was really difficult. But because I had already had, I guess, people that I was, you know, booked for previously for weddings and things like that, you know, I couldn't let them down. And so that, if anything, it helped me to continue in terms of, you know, being a makeup artist and doing that as my job. So it's sort of like, it becomes so integrated in your life that you end up just sort of going with it, and you have your next appointment, and it just kind of goes from there. So you kind of have to make time for it. You have to kind of set aside time for the family, time for the work side of things. And it is very difficult, but what I have come to realize is that when you have little time, you actually manage your time a lot better. And that's what's happened with me. Before Sami, that's his name, my son, before he came along, I sort of wasted a lot of time, I would say, maybe surfing the internet, watching TV, things like that, lounging around. But since he's come along, it has been a different ball game. I have had very limited time to do the things that I used to be able to do, but at the same time trying to take care of, you know, obviously the house, trying to take care of him, trying to take care of just general maintenance and upkeeping, and at the same time working and keeping the business side of things running. So it has been a struggle, but a year on, it has gotten easier because I'm able now to learn and manage the things that I never used to be able to know how to do. Now they're a lot easier for me. So sorry to rant on, but that's, I hope, answers the question of how do you balance work and family life. I just try and juggle everything, so everything is going at the same time, whether it's me, you know,